Well, good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
It's good to have you here. I'm Whitney Ward.
We're going to kick things off with weather tonight with Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo.
All right, Jeremy, what do we need to know about tonight and then especially for tomorrow?
Yeah, actually, our producer just got in my ear and said, Jeremy, we're moving you to the top of the show because what you have to say is most important.
I don't think that happened.
That's not what she said.
I heard it confirmed right here. So let's talk about it because this is really important. We've got a few scattered showers and storms and a little bit of sunshine fueling the storm side of those showers. That sunshine is also what warmed us up into the 50s today. But with those storms kind of moving through, we have seen a little bit of convection embedded within them. Yep, that's not the most important part yet. We'll get there in a second. But we've got some of those showers moving through. This round near Sprague is going to make its way toward us here in Spokane. Coeur d'Alene, you're on the backside of Sun. Hayden, you're seeing some. Sandpoint, some heavier rain. We saw a bolt of lightning just north of Spirit Lake. That's making its way up there. Tooele, you're in some of that rain, turning to snow up in the mountains. And watch what happens. We get around here in Spokane. I think our heaviest rain kind of in the 6 o'clock hour moves out and we dry out. This is the important graphic. Tomorrow, a high near 50. Thursday, a high in the 50s. Friday, a high in the mid 50s. And by the time we get to the weekend, we're talking 60s and sunshine.
Oh, I'm here for that, Jeremy. Thank you very much. All right, taking a look at our other top stories tonight. The Idaho Supreme Court has denied Brian Kohberger's motion for permission to appeal from a lower court's judgment.
Kohberger, of course, is the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students in 2022. His defense filed a motion last week asking for permission to appeal the district court's decision not to toss his grand jury indictment.
They also wanted the indictment thrown out due to what they say is a biased grand jury. However, the Idaho Supreme Court says it will not hear their appeal.
In South Carolina, authorities say a Boeing whistleblower was found dead from what appears to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound. John Barnett's death on Saturday happened just days after giving evidence in a whistleblower lawsuit against Boeing. The 62-year-old had raised concerns about quality control and safety inside of Boeing's Charleston plant, where the company builds the 787 Dreamliner. Barnett, who worked for Boeing for 32 years, gave a formal deposition. He was questioned by company lawyers in South Carolina last week.
2 families are displaced tonight after squatters started a fire inside the garage. Spokane firefighters got called to a duplex on East Rockwell. They found a fire in the garage and it had burned through the wall of the building. Crews say it caused an estimated $100,000 of damage. Investigators determined that fire was started by transients illegally occupying the garage. Tenants of the home said that they'd been having issues with people breaking in and lighting candles on the garage floor. So far, though, no arrests have been made and no word on the identity of any of the suspects. Well, it was a heartbreaker in Las Vegas for the Gonzaga women today. After going unbeaten in conference play, the Bulldogs fell to Portland by 1 point in the WCC championship game.
Our sports team is in Las Vegas right now, and they've got more from the game and what the loss means moving forward.
Well, Andrew, I know we're about 3 months into 2024, but it sure felt a lot like 2023 here today.
Sure did. Almost deja vu, and it felt like it from the jump. Something was just a little bit off, and it was just like last year, the Portland Pilots being the thorn in Gonzaga's side.
A rematch in the WCC Championship. Gonzaga women up against the Portland Pilots. As we know, the Zags steamrolled their way through the WCC in the regular season. Now there was no domination tonight. Pick things up in the fourth quarter because that's what it all came down to. Big 3 from Brenna Maxwell early in the fourth for a 51-50 Gonzaga lead. But all day, the Pilots had an answer, and oftentimes it was Spangle native Maisie Burnham, and 1 bucket puts the Pilots back up. Burnham had 15 points. Yvonne Ejim led all scorers with 17. Bucket here puts the Zags back up top, 62-61 with 3:30 left to go. Fast forward, under 2 minutes left. It's the Pilots taking the lead back again. Amy Shearer with a triple to give Portland a 67-64 lead. Shortly after, a big time for Kaylin Trong to get things going. She did in the final minutes, knocks down the jumper to cut it to a 1-point deficit. It would be scoreless until the final seconds. Gonzaga would have a final chance to win it down 1. Kaylin Trong would have to settle for a 3, and it falls short. It happens again. The Zags fall to Portland in the championship game, 67-66.
Yeah, Travis, obviously with this happening again this year, this team was very emotional post-game, but they made sure to mention that this is a different team than last year, and they can use this loss to help them as they head into March Madness.
We're not this bad defensively and we're not this bad offensively. And so call it what you want. I did think that our offense was going to at some point carry us, because that's what's been our strength a lot of the year, has been our offense. And we just couldn't quite get the consecutive, a score and then a stop and then a score.
We lost. It sucks. It's basketball. It's March. It comes with the gig. No one really goes undefeated ever. But it's just how we bounce back from this is what's going to show us and make of this team.
I think if anything, we're a different team than we were last year, and we have a different mindset and obviously different experience as well. And I think that will help feed into our preparation going into March Madness, especially after this game.
And obviously a bummer for the team to not win the championship, but also with this loss, it all but guarantees there will not be March Madness games in the kennel.
That's right. Unfortunate for this year's team, but hey, we're not done here tonight. The Gonzaga men in action, the trilogy, as we called it last night, taking on St. Mary's.
Tip-off set for 6 p.m. We'll have all your coverage tonight on KREM 2. For now, in Las Vegas, for Andrew Quinn, I'm Travis Green.
Thank you, fellas. As they just mentioned, we are less than an hour away from tip-off for the Gonzaga men's game against St. Mary's.
So this is the third time the team will be facing off against their biggest WCC rival. So far, they are 1-1 against them. The last time they went head-to-head against the Gales was the final regular season game. So here is Nolan Hickman now and head coach Mark Few ahead of tonight's game.
It's always fun playing against these guys. It's always a war. We know that going into it, it's never going to be like a days of going done, it's always going to be a bar fight, what Coach likes to say. But we know that going into it, and I think me and my guys, we're ready for it.
They're a great team. He's an awesome coach, and I'm sure it'll be extremely, extremely physical. It's always a very, very, very physical game.
The Zags and Gales tip it off at the top of the hour for the WCC tournament title. We will have highlights and post-game reaction tonight on KREM 2 News at 10 and 11 o'clock.